I was in my room, surrounded by the chaos of my art, canvases leaning against the walls, paint tubes scattered like fallen soldiers, the air thick with the sharp scent of turpentine. I'd just finished a painting that day, one that made my heart sing. A burst of colors, a sunset bleeding into the horizon. It wasn't just a painting to me. It was proof. Proof that I could do this, that I had to do this. But then my mother stormed in, her face already set like stone. She didn't even glance at my work. "You need to stop this nonsense," she said, her voice cutting through the air like a knife. "Painting is just a hobby. It can't support you. It's time to grow up and join the family business." Her doubt hit me like a punch. We'd danced this dance before, but this time there was no sidestepping it. "Mom," I said, voice steady despite the storm brewing inside me, "I'm not going to waste my life doing something I hate. I'm an artist. This is who I am." She laughed, a sharp, cruel sound that made my skin crawl. "An artist? You think you can survive on dreams? You'll end up with nothing, and don't expect me to pick up the pieces when you fail." Her doubt ignited a fire in me. I stepped closer, hands trembling but my resolve ironclad. "Don't you dare underestimate my dreams," I snapped, my voice rising with every word. "I've poured my soul into this. I won't let you or anyone tell me it's worthless." That's when it happened. Her hand flew up, and before I could react, it cracked across my face. The slap rang out, loud and final, leaving my cheeks stinging and my mind reeling. My own mother. For a second, I couldn't breathe. The room spun, and all I could hear was the echo of that strike. "Get out!" she spat, her eyes blazing with a fury I'd never seen before. "If you won't listen, you don't belong here. Leave, and don't come back until you've learned some sense." Leave? The word hung there, heavy and real. Part of me wanted to crumble, to beg for forgiveness, to say I'd give it all up and follow her plan. But my dreams, they wouldn't let me. They roared louder than her anger, louder than my fear. I grabbed my bag, stuffed it with a few clothes and my sketchbook, the only things that mattered, and marched to the door. "You know what, Mom?" I said, turning back, voice shaking but strong. "Maybe I don't belong here. Maybe I never did. I'll prove you wrong, and when I do, don't expect me to come crawling back." She didn't answer. She just stood there, arms crossed, watching me go. The door slammed shut behind me, a sound that marked the end of one life and the start of another. Out on the street, the cold air hit me, but I didn't feel it. All I felt was the weight of my bag, the weight of my dreams, and a fire that wouldn't die. Am I insane for this? I asked myself as I walked away, my footsteps echoing in the dark. Maybe, but I'd rather be insane and free than trapped and broken. So I kept walking, my dreams tucked under my arm, determined to make them real, no matter what it took. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Ever feel like you're screaming into a void and no one's listening? That's me, Zoe, 25, stuck in Los Angeles, California, trying to breathe in a life that's been choking me since I was a kid. I've always known I was different. The only daughter in a family that doesn't give a damn about what sets my soul on fire. Art. You know, the kind of passion that makes your hands itch for a brush, your heart race for a canvas. But in my family, that's nothing. A childish dream they'd rather see me bury. Let me paint you a picture of them. My mom, Susan, 55, rules her suburban castle like it's a sacred shrine to tradition. She's all about stability, 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 like it's the Holy Grail. "Zoe, get a real job," she'd snap, her voice slicing through me. "Join the company, live the life we planned for you." Planned for me? like I'm some puppet on her strings. She doesn't get it, never has. To her, art's a cute little distraction, not a life. And that's a CAGE I can't stand to live in. Then there's my dad, Tom, 58, the real estate king who says less than a mute but controls everything. He doesn't need words. His expectations do the talking. Take over the family business, Zoe. Follow my path, Zoe. Be the daughter I need, not the one you are. But when I'd show him my sketches, my dreams spilling onto paper, he'd just turn away, silent, cold, like I'm invisible unless I fit his mold. You ever feel that? Like you're only worth something if you play by someone else's rules? Being the only daughter didn't make me special. It made me a target. The one who's supposed to carry the legacy, keep the company alive, nod and smile while they suffocate my dreams. But I couldn't. I wouldn't. Every time I tried to fit their mold, it cracked me open, left me lonely, misunderstood, raging against the tension that tied me to them. They didn't respect me. They didn't see me. They just saw a role I was born to play, and I hated them for it. Los Angeles should have been my escape, a city buzzing with art, alive with possibility, galleries, colors, freedom. But even here, their voices haunt me. You're wasting your life, Mom would say. Dad's silence would echo, judging me from miles away. It's a fight every day, pushing against their disapproval while chasing what I love. Isn't that insane? A place this vibrant, and I'm still battling shadows? Then it all exploded. I told them the truth. I'm an artist. I'm not your corporate clone. I'm done. Mom's face twisted, venom in her eyes. If you won't follow our rules, you're out. Leave. And just like that, they cut me loose, kicked me out like I was nothing. So I grabbed my bags, my art, my fire, and I walked away. Now I'm here, still in Los Angeles, scraping by, waitressing, freelancing, whatever it takes to keep going. It's hard, damn hard. But every stroke of my brush, every piece I finish, is a middle finger to their doubts. I'm building my life, my way. Scared? You bet I am. But I'd rather be terrified and free than safe and shackled. What about you? Would you risk it all to be who you really are? Because I did, and I'm not stopping now. At first, I thought that fight was just a spark, a fleeting burst of anger that would fade with time. I was wrong. The days that followed didn't bring peace. They brought a war I hadn't signed up for. My mother didn't back down. She didn't soften. Instead, she pressed harder, her voice a relentless tide crashing against me every single day. Zoe, when will you stop this foolishness and join the company? She'd demand, tone sharp enough to cut through my resolve. Art isn't serious. It's not a life. And every time I'd stand there, fists balled, swallowing the scream that burned in my throat. It's my life, Mom. Mine. She refused to hear me. Every time I reached for my sketchbook, every time I dared to chase the one thing that made me feel alive, she'd drag me back with the same tired lecture. Family comes first, Zoe, she'd say, eyes hard, unyielding. You can't do this to us. Art, it's not a career. It's a childish fantasy. Her words were a whip, lashing at my dreams, trying to beat them into submission. But I couldn't let go. I wouldn't. Not even when she started locking the doors, barring me from my classes, voice cold as steel. If you won't listen, you're not going anywhere. It broke me. Slowly, piece by piece. I was exhausted, trapped in a house that felt more like a prison than a home. Every day was a battle, her demands versus my passion, her guilt versus my truth. I'd lie awake at night, staring into the dark, wrestling with the chaos inside me. Am I wrong? I'd ask myself over and over. Her words echoed in my head, venomous and heavy. "You're selfish, Zoe. I've worked myself to death for you, and this is how you repay me? With paint and delusions?" I loved her. I did. But that love was suffocating me. I couldn't be her puppet, her perfect little soldier marching to her drum. I couldn't kill the part of me that needed to create. And then she got worse. It wasn't just pressure anymore. It was an assault. She'd storm into my room, face twisted with something darker than anger, disappointment maybe, or desperation. "You're abandoning this family," she'd spit, tossing my brushes into the trash like they were garbage. For what? For this nonsense? I'd dig them out, hands trembling, heart pounding, clawing my way out of the grave she kept trying to bury me in. The more I fought, the crueler she became, wielding guilt like a weapon. "Don't you see how tired I am? How much I've sacrificed? And you choose this?" It all came to a head one night. I was sketching, trying to drown out the noise in my head, when she burst in. "Enough!" she roared, voice shaking the walls. "This ends now. Tomorrow you're joining the company, or you're out of this house." Her eyes blazed with a fury I'd never seen, a mother unhinged by control. I stood, sketchbook slipping from my hands, pulse racing. "Mom, I can't," I said, voice cracking but steady. "I can't give up who I am, not for you, not for anyone." She laughed, a sharp, bitter sound that sliced through me. "Then you're no daughter of mine," she snapped. "If you walk out that door, don't come back. Don't call me your mother. You'll be nothing to me." The words landed like a punch, stealing my breath. Nothing to her? After everything? But beneath the pain, something shifted. I was done. Done pretending, done bending, done breaking. I grabbed my bag, shoving in my art, my clothes, anything that was mine. "Mom," I said, tears stinging my eyes. "I have to go. I can't keep living like this. I can't abandon myself to make you happy." She didn't move, didn't flinch, her silence louder than any scream. I walked past her, the weight of her rejection heavy on my shoulders, but I kept going. Out on the street, the night was cold, but I didn't care. All I felt was the ache and the freedom. Was I wrong? I wondered as I walked away, dreams clutched tight. Maybe, but I'd rather be wrong and whole than right and shattered. So I kept moving, one step at a time, into a life I could finally call my own. I stood on top of the world. Then the ground shook beneath me. My art, my soul on canvas, finally hangs in a gallery, bathed in soft light and quiet applause. People whisper my name like it means something, like I've made it. For a moment, I let myself believe it. I let myself feel the warmth of success, the kind that wraps around you like a blanket after years of fighting the cold. But then, the phone rings. It's her, Mom, the woman who once told me my dreams were worthless, now calling like nothing ever happened. "Zoe," she says, voice too casual, too familiar. "We need to talk." My stomach twists. I know that tone. It's the one she uses when she wants something, when she's about to pull me back into the mess I escaped. "The company's in trouble," she continues, clipped, urgent. "We're dwindling in debt. You're doing well now, aren't you? We need your help, Zoe. Family is family. We can't let each other fall." Family is family. The words hit me like a slap. The same slap she gave me years ago when I dared to choose myself. I can still feel the sting, the way it echoed in my bones as I walked out that door. And now, after everything, after the silence, the rejection, the way they turned their backs when I needed them most, they want me to save them? I laugh, but it's hollow, bitter. "You've got to be kidding me," I mutter, gripping the phone tighter. You threw me out, Mom. You said I was nothing to you if I didn't follow your rules. And now you want my help? She doesn't miss a beat. That was then, Zoe. Things are different now. We're your family. Blood doesn't just disappear because of a disagreement. A disagreement? Is that what she calls it? Years of being told I was a failure, of being locked out of my own life, of clawing my way here alone, and she reduces it to a disagreement? I want to scream, to tell her to go to hell, but something stops me. A flicker of guilt, maybe, or love, or both. It's a tangled mess inside me, and I hate it. I hang up, but her words linger, heavy and suffocating. I pace the gallery, my footsteps echoing against the polished floors. My art surrounds me. Bold strokes, vibrant colors, pieces of my heart laid bare for the world to see. Each one a battle won, each one a step away from the life they wanted for me. But now, they're back, hands outstretched, expecting me to fix their mistakes. Why should I ask myself, staring at a painting of a fractured sky. Why should I give them anything after what they did? But then I remember the good times, before the fights, before the ultimatums. Mom's laughter, rare but real, when we'd bake together on Sundays. Dad's quiet pride when I aced a test, even if he never said it out loud. They're my family, flawed and broken, but still mine. And part of me aches to help, to be the daughter they need. But another part, the part that bled to get here, screams in protest. They abandoned you, Zoe. They don't get to come back now just because you've made something of yourself. The gallery feels smaller now, the walls closing in. I can't breathe. I step outside, the cool night air hitting my face, but it doesn't calm the storm inside. I'm torn, ripped between the love I still carry and the betrayal that never healed. Am I selfish for wanting to say no? I wonder, leaning against the building, my hands trembling. Or am I just protecting myself from being used again? They didn't believe in me when it mattered. They didn't stand by me when I was lost. And now they want to cash in on the success they tried to crush. I close my eyes, seeking clarity, but all I see is the past. Mom's face twisted with anger, Dad's silence, louder than any words, the door slamming shut behind me. And then, the present. My art, my life, the fragile piece I've built. If I help them, will it shatter? Will they take and take until there's nothing left of me? Or is this my chance to prove that family can heal, that forgiveness is possible? I don't know. I don't have the answers. All I have is this ache, this pull in two directions, and the weight of a choice I never wanted to make. What would you do? I sat in that cafe near my office. The air was so thick I could barely breathe. My mother sat across from me, face a mix of hope and desperation, like I'm some lifeline she can reel back in. The clatter of cups and chatter around us felt miles away. It was just us, locked in a battle I never wanted. "Zoe," she started, voice low but sharp, cutting through the noise. "The company's dying. We're out of options. You have to come back. You're our last hope." Her words hit hard, urgent, pleading. Maybe she was begging for her life, their life, the one I walked away from. I felt that pull, that guilt she's so good at stirring up. But I've been here before, and I wasn't bending this time. I took a breath, steadied myself. "Mom, I said no. I've got my own life now. I can't keep fixing yours." My voice was firm, but inside I was shaking, torn between what she wanted and what I needed. She leaned closer, eyes narrowing. "Your own life? Zoe, we're your family. If the business goes under, everything's gone. Everything you left behind. How can you abandon us now?" There it was, the guilt trip, her favorite move. She painted me as the villain, the selfish daughter who ran away. It stung, but it wasn't the whole story. I clenched my fists under the table, anger rising fast. "Abandon you?" I snapped, voice louder, turning heads. "You pushed me out, Mom. You never accepted me, never let me be me. You wanted a puppet, not a daughter, and now you think I owe you my success? No, I made it because I said no to you." Her face twisted, shock, hurt, fury all at once. She slammed her hand down, table rattled. "We gave you everything, and you're throwing it away like it's nothing? You're breaking us, Zoe." Her voice cracked, tears spilling, and for a split second I faltered. I saw Dad in my mind, his quiet pride in that company, and it hurt. But this wasn't my fight. I stood, chair screeching, heart pounding. "I can't save it, Mom. I won't. You don't get to guilt me into this. I'm done." My words were a wall, solid, final. She reached for me, hand trembling. "Zoe, please." But I stepped back, out of her grasp. I turned and walked out, the door banging shut behind me. Her voice faded, swallowed by the city's hum. My chest ached, guilt, love, rage, all tangled up. But as I breathed in the crisp air, I felt it. Freedom. Hard-won, messy, mine. I stand in my own art gallery, surrounded by works I've spent years perfecting. Everything around me is warm, the atmosphere buzzing with art lovers. But in my heart, there's peace, a calmness I've never felt before. I once thought I'd regret leaving my family, making decisions no one supported. But looking back on this journey, I realize I was right. Art isn't just a job for me, it's life. It's the passion I chose, and it has given me a new path, a new version of myself. My mom once said art is just a hobby, but now I can look at my works and say, this is not a hobby, this is my life. My mom doesn't understand, and that's okay. I no longer need anyone's approval. I am living the life I want, and I don't regret anything. No matter how hard things have been, no matter that my family abandoned me, I've moved past it all. The fears, the doubts in my heart. I've overcome them. And now, here I am, standing in my own gallery with the paintings I created, expressing my true self. Life isn't always easy, but it has taught me one thing: never give up on your dreams. Never let anyone else decide for you. I've lived true to myself, and I'm proud of that, and I will continue. Continue living with art, continue walking down the path I chose, steady and strong. No one can stop me now, because I, Zoe, have found myself in every brushstroke. I stood outside that cafe, the echo of the slammed door still ringing in my ears. The city hummed around me, oblivious to the war I'd just fought and won. My chest felt light, like a bird finally uncaged, wings trembling with the thrill of open sky. After years of their voices, "Art won't pay the bills. You're wasting your life," I was done. That tense, suffocating showdown stripped away the last of their control, and now I was free. Truly free. I took a deep breath, tasting air untainted by their expectations, and decided, this is it. My art, my rules, my life. I threw myself into it, head first, no looking back. I rented a cramped studio, a shoebox with cracked walls and a single window that spilled golden light onto my easel. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Days blurred into nights as I painted, each stroke a rebellion, each color a shout of defiance. I wasn't just creating, I was unraveling years of doubt, weaving my soul into every canvas. Broken chains took shape, a wild sea of blues and grays, gold slashing through like freedom clawing its way out of chaos. It was raw. It was me. And I didn't care who got it. I wasn't painting for them anymore. But the night before my first solo exhibition, the fear hit. I was alone in that tiny studio, staring at my work, and the what-ifs crept in. What if they laugh? What if I'm not enough? My family's voices echoed, faint but sharp. I clutched my coffee mug, hands shaking, until I forced myself to breathe. I hadn't clawed my way out of their grip to falter now. I closed my eyes, whispered, "You're free. You've got this." And the doubt slunk away, leaving me steady for what was coming. The exhibition was at a famous Los Angeles gallery. White walls, bright lights, a world I never thought I'd touch. No family backing me, no safety net, just me and my art against the odds. The room filled with strangers, their murmurs buzzing like static. I hovered in the shadows, heart pounding, watching them drift past my pieces. A woman stopped at broken chains, her fingers twitching as if she could feel its story. "Such passion," someone said. "Who is she?" another asked. I caught the words, and they were like sparks lighting up the dark corners of my spirit. Then a man in a crisp suit cut through the crowd. "I'm a collector," he said, eyes locked on me. "Your work, it's alive. I want the whole series." He named a price that made my knees weak, a record-breaking figure I could barely process. I nodded, stunned, as the room tilted into a dream I didn't know I could have. That night, the art world saw me, really saw me, and I didn't need anyone's permission to stand there, victorious. After that, it was like a dam broke. Invitations flooded in. New York, Chicago, galleries I'd only read about. My career steadied, then soared. I traveled, painted, exhibited, each step a louder declaration of who I am. A famous collector snagged a massive set of my pieces for another jaw-dropping sum, and I felt it. Happiness, yes, but more than that, recognition. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. My work landed in international galleries, Paris, Tokyo, London, and the critics couldn't stop talking. Emotional intensity, they said. A unique voice. Every word was a brick in the foundation I was building, far from the ruins of my past. Then London happened. A prestigious exhibition, my paintings glowing under spotlights next to masters. A critic from a highbrow magazine cornered me, her voice sharp with excitement. "Your art! It challenges everything! It heals!" I smiled, thinking of the girl who walked away from that cafe, fists clenched, heart wide open. I'd made it. Not just for me, but for every dreamer told to give up, every soul smothered by shoulds. My art was my proof, my freedom etched in every line. Still, in quiet moments, I wondered about them, my family. Did they know? Did they see the headlines, the sold-out shows? Part of me wanted them to understand what I'd fought for, to feel the weight of what they tried to bury. But the bigger part, the part that's carried me here, knows it doesn't matter. I don't need their nods or their pride. This is my win. Forged in fire, and it's mine alone. Surrounded by my work and the world's applause, I asked myself, what's freedom worth? Everything, I thought, and I'd given it all. Every tear, every late night, every stroke of the brush. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.